I was going to sleep at 12 and my mind just couldn't stop. I mean, it could if I meditated, but I didn't really want to stop this kind of flow of ideas I guess I have, and it was like a lot coming through that it was overwhelming. I had a really overwhelming afternoon, you know. I thought I lost my phone, which stressed me out, and then I dropped a huge stack of plates at work and it all shattered. And then I overfilled like the mop bucket, and anyways, just one thing after the other, and it was so frustrating, and it felt like I couldn't catch a break, even though in hindsight, not even, it's been like a couple hours. I know it's not a big deal, and during, you know, the stress or whatever, not even stress, during just the overwhelm and just like one minorly inconvenient shitty thing happening after the other, like they're really not big deal things. I felt bad in the moment, but I knew to get through it. Anyways, it's not my point. The point is I was a little all over the place and shattered. And about a week ago, I lived on my own for a week. My parents left, and I was home alone, taking care of myself. Well, actually not taking care of myself. I was really depressed. I'd stay up until 4 a.m. every night and just like eat like shit. Like eat like half a cake in a sitting and watching some brain rot Ginny and Georgia show. And that's like when I made my raccoon video, and I was so low, and I was like, wow, I haven't felt this way in a long time. But I knew if I surrendered to it that it would bring me to where I need to be. And so I surrendered. I was like, I want to eat half a chocolate cake at 4 a.m. So I did. I want to watch Ginny and Georgia. So I did. And it was like, I was making myself feel guilty for all this like junk food and junk just whatever I was consuming, even though that's what I wanted to do in that period of time. I just like did it with guilt, being like, no, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't. But that's what I wanted to do. And the second I actually let myself do it, like fully, and being like, I want to do this and I'm gonna do this, and like I'm not gonna feel bad about it, I felt free, man. I felt free sitting at 4 a.m. eating chocolate cake, watching Ginny and Georgia. Like, I felt good the second I let go. And then so quickly, I realized what my next step is, which was to start weight training again. And just immediately, I flipped from like being depressed, like I haven't been in like a hot minute, to weight training almost every day. And like, it's not like I'm forcing myself to do it, it's that I want to do it. And like, I did 3 days in a row, amazing workouts. And then I took a day off, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna take a day off and then get back into it. But then I woke up the next day, which was today. This is my second day off, and I'm like, my body's still sore. I need a break. And I did take a break. You know, I did a little stretching, very, very minor stretching, and I just let myself not exercise. And to me, that's a big deal. It's a big deal because I would guilt myself because my body would need rest. I'm like, you gotta work more, you gotta do this. Like, man, why aren't you training for another day? You're gonna be weak, you're fat, like, da-da-da. And like, all these really shitty thoughts come to my head. And I'm like, no. This is what I need right now. Like, what I needed a week ago was eating chocolate cake and watching Ginny and Georgia. This week, this moment, this day, I need rest. And just listening to my body, like, it's very powerful, you know. Again, this isn't any new information to me. It's just like applying it feels so damn good. but difficult, you know, because of the way things are. And this is a long 5-minute intro, but all I really wanted to do is just read all this journaling brain dump that I did in the last like hour or whatever, because I couldn't stop writing, and it is pretty like run on thought stuff, so I just kind of want to get it out of me. And really, I was writing the way I think, and I was listening to a podcast before that about like, you know, how you don't need to have a career, how there are people like right now is the best time ever, you know, to branch out. And like, it wasn't like a motivation or whatever, it was just a guy having a conversation and being like, hey, I like, there are other possibilities out there, and your time is worth way more than like $16 an hour, $17 an hour. Like, think about it. And he was saying how when he was basically living in his mom's basement, he came up to her and said, my time is worth $10,000 a month. And she was like, okay. But like, you know, she didn't believe him. And then he was like, yeah, and it's almost 10 years later, I made $80,000 in one day. I'm like, bro, what? And then I started writing about it, and I'm like, wait, why do I keep working minimum wage? Because me showing up to every shift is just proving to myself that this is what I'm worth. I'm worth $17.20 an hour. But if you think about it, I was writing about it. It's like, that's the price of like a sweater. Like, I'm worth more than a sweater. I think an hour of my time is worth more than a sweater. And then I had the thought, I'm like, but is it? Like, a sweater could keep me warm, and I'll have it for a long time, and it can be stylish. And then I'm like, hold up. The reason that I think that a sweater is worth more than 1 hour of my time is because of how I spend my time. An hour of my time I'll spend fucking watching an episode of Ginny and Georgia, or like not being present, if that kind of makes sense. Like, I spend an hour like guilting myself, and it's like, of course that hour is worth nothing, because it's not I'm not using my time, I'm not valuing my time and treating it with the highest of the highest respect, of $10,000 of respect. And if you really think about it, you wouldn't sell your life, you wouldn't sell like 5 years of your life for any amount. I wouldn't personally sell my life for any amount. Like, if someone came up to me, he's like, here's 10 million bucks if you live 5 years shorter than you're supposed to. And I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. And then now I have a voice that's like, but what if you're crippled and like da-da-da. Like, there's this other part of me that's always just like countering all of this, like, of me worthing myself like a lot. It's just like being like, oh, but what about this? But what about this? And it's like, no, man, like, no. like no. And I have to start treating myself. I have to treat myself like an hour of my time is $10,000. And if it is, what would I do? I would live, because living is priceless, you know? And that's why it's a minimum of $10,000. An hour of life, of breathing, of seeing. Imagine a blind person being like, imagine coming up to a blind person and saying, for $10,000 you'll be able to see for an hour. Of course they would pay it, because that hour is invaluable. It's worth so much more than $10,000. It's to see, to awe, like, to be in awe, to like, man, to live. Imagine a blind and deaf person. Imagine Helen Keller coming up to her and being like, I don't even know how you speak to her in Braille, and being like, hey girl, pay $10,000 and you'll see for an hour. Same shit. You'll see and hear for an hour. Of course you would fucking pay that. Anyways, I'm just trying to convince myself, like, I'm just like reiterating this idea so that it like resonates and sticks and lands, which it is. This is just like what's happening right now is literally just the first time I've sat down and like thought about this and like landing this in my body, in my just being. So I'm just gonna read the brain dump and then the video's done. So I wrote, June 21st, man, ... God damn, do I feel overwhelmed. I've got so many visions and opportunities in front of me. I feel like I exist in the air, floating along things. I lack audacity. Floating along things. I lack audacity in taking action. I fear what others think and explaining myself, preparing to explain myself, and it sucks. I see so many paths in front of me, like my art materials. Oh man, I could get lost in that stuff for weeks, if not months, and honestly, years, if I could. Who knows? I had a difficult afternoon today, yet God never left my side for a moment. Plate shattered, my mind spinning, my bike gears turning. Though that chaos and disorientation... Oh no, not though. Through that chaos and disorientation, I felt grace alongside pain. And I can feel so many seeds planted in my spirit that I could grow a forest with them. I like that. I'm going to read it again. I can feel so many seeds planted in my spirit that I could grow a forest with them. And that's boundlessly exciting and so overwhelming. I fear quitting my job. I wrote like some names. I don't want to say them. I fear quitting my job. What is that fear? No money? Be real. You'll survive on the financial end thanks to your parents. You'll never be homeless or starving unless it's by choice. The house gets destroyed. God forbid. What I mean are grave situations. I see myself lead my parents' frankly miserable life by my standards. It's mind-boggling to me to hear my mom not be allowed a desk with a treadmill because that's a safety hazard. Sitting all day for 10 hours is a safety hazard, most likely a worse one than one fall on the treadmill that is at walking speed. I'm just frustrated and blind to my worth and future. The guy talking on the podcast I was just listening to talking about how time is the most valuable thing, and if a stranger came up to you and asked for 1 hour of your time for $20, would you take it? My instinct is yes. $25 for an hour made me exuberant. A couple days ago, that's what I got at work. That's really sad. Balancing my worth and really the boundless infinity that is unpriceable, that is me, with the guilt I carry that my life is so damn good and privileged feels disorienting at the moment. Like truly, I'm worth a minimum of $10,000 an hour. Minimum. An hour of my time is more precious than the most expensive diamond in the world. As I'm writing this, I feel how absolutely highly I must treat myself in order for these statements to be true. I must treat myself to that standard. That means no work, man. None of my current job, man. I can't exist in such a high vibration when I choose every week to spend 12 hours in an environment that brings people down, that makes me feel trapped, and surrounds me with people living paycheck to paycheck. Absolutely nothing but love towards them. However, being around that energy brings disharmony to my being. I see my life and I know what's always best for me. I will stay until they can replace me out of respect and loyalty to the place. However, it must go. I see much bigger things for myself, even though I'm not sure what they'd look like. Just like my closet and room and relationships, I must let go of everything that doesn't serve my highest good. And my job did serve my highest good for a while, but I've outgrown it. It's gone stale. Like a certain relationship. No one single thing happened for me to take action to let it go. I just knew for frankly far too long that it must go. This is about my relationship. If I know I must let it go, then why don't I just do it now? Especially when the risk isn't high. Now I'm talking about my job. It's like hopping that fence and so basically the other day I was hopping a fence. It's like hopping that fence and having to jump off of it and trust that you'll land between the dangerous areas. Because my only other option is climbing down the fence step by step, which not only takes a hell of a lot more time, but more energy and less joy. It's not exciting or fulfilling to take the easy route just because you can. Anyone can. People with my boss's vibration do that in career aspects. Same thing with my other coworker. They can do greater things. They just don't for whatever reason that I expect. They don't for whatever their reasons are that I respect. But that's not me. I'm taking the leap, using my voice to get what I want. I'm not worth $17.20 an hour. That's about the price of a sweater. A sweater is worth $17.20 an hour. I believe I am worth more than a sweater. When I frame it like that, it's so plainly obvious. There are these doubts creeping in though. Like, well, actually, you could get 4 sweaters per shift because I work 4 hours, and 12 set sweaters every week, $250 a week. Still not bad. That's 5. All you can eat, still, well, my grammar's not great when I write. $250 a week. Still not bad. That's 5 all you can eat meals. Shit, that's a lot. Why do I think I'm worth 5 meals? 10 meals a month? Wait, that's bad math. 20 meals a month. Anyways, an hour of my time is the most precious hour in the world. That hour is boundless, transformative, and deep, regardless of what it appears to be in the 3D. If it's me resting in bed, that's the most precious, deep rest in the world. I savor every minute of it. The guy in the podcast is my example. He's just like me, and he had way less resources at my age, significantly less. Come up to others, compliment them, ask them how their day is going. I'm sure when you came up to your professors, your compliments and appreciation changed them for the moment, day, week, and who knows, maybe they will always remember that moment. I'm thinking right now, am I being impulsive? I'm just having a bad day, a bad shift. It's not all bad. Basically just talking myself out of my spirit, what my spirit needs, and that is to be away from that environment. I just am hearing this talking chatter in my head because I know that exactly the thing. I'm just hearing this talking chatter in my head because I know that's exactly the things my mom will bring up when I speak about this decision, which makes me not want to speak about it. I'm not going to buy new work shoes like I was planning to tomorrow. I will get shoe glue and glue my raggedy current pair to be safe for the next couple weeks while I work there. I'm thinking right now how to explain to my coworkers why I'm leaving. I have plans. What kind of plans? I'm not sure how to explain them. See, why am I trying to explain myself? I don't need to share my reason. All they really need to know is that I'm quitting and that I will keep showing up until they replace me. I'm going to sit in this until Wednesday. If on Wednesday I feel this way, then I quit. There's like the 48-hour rule to wait until making a decision to be sure or whatever. I'm making it 96 hours. This is final. My time is worth a minimum of $10,000 an hour. An hour of my time is the most precious hour in the world. I love you through it all. Good night. With a little heart. All right. Bye, guys. That's it.